Welcome back to Gero Dynamics. Okay, so another video in this series. The last video went really long for what I want these videos, so this one I'm going to try to keep it short. And it's kind of like an offshoot video of the last one. The last one we were talking about budgeting and how we could avoid having deficits every year and how we could pay off the debt and not increase the debt. We talked about that in the last video. This video, I do want to talk about just the debt ceiling limit that seems to be the conversation going on right now. Should they increase the debt limit, the debt ceiling? So one, no, they shouldn't, but they're going to. And the reason why is because they're lying to people. The media is lying to people. The politicians are lying to people. And people don't know any better. So here's the thing. What would happen if they didn't increase the debt ceiling? Well, what you're being told is that our old debts won't get paid. That Donald Trump spent all this money and we have to raise the debt ceiling, otherwise Donald Trump's debt won't get paid. It's like, that's not even logical. That's just like a partisan lie. You know, Donald Trump did have a lot of spending happen while he was president. Don't get me wrong. Spending is always an issue, no matter who's in power. But the debt ceiling is not about paying off our old debts, because that's part of the first requirement, things to be paid. They have to pay the debt first. Statutorily, they have to pay the debt first. And increasing the debt limit isn't saying that we can't pay for anything. It's saying we can't borrow more. So we do have revenue coming in, right? But we can't borrow more to pay for new spending, because that's what it's for. It's for new spending. It's for spending they want to do now, not old spending. That's already been spent, right? It's already been spent, and we have to pay the debt on that. And that's the first requirement for the government to do. So whatever revenue comes in has to go to old debt first. It just does. That's a requirement. Legally, they have to do it. So they will, because they still have revenues. They just need to borrow more to pay for the new stuff. So don't let them lie to you when they say that they won't be able to pay their debts if they don't increase the debt limit. What they would do is they would have to stop the new spending. So all of the new stuff that they just passed in the last spending package, none of that could be paid for. That's what they're worried about, all right? All those things they promised people. So no, they don't have to raise the debt limit to pay off the old debt. The government would still be operational. It wouldn't even shut down the government. What shuts down the government is that they can't do the new spending, right? So they can only do what was the wording that they used? Essential. So non-essential employees have to stop working, right? Well, they're called non-essential for a reason. It's stuff we like, that's done. We like having park services. We like them going in and cleaning the toilets at the parks. We like to have we like to be able to go on tours at Washington, D.C., that sort of thing, right? Non-essential employees, well, some of them are like, IRS employees. Some of them are, did the post office shut down? I don't even think that, because it's considered like a separate entity. I think Mel is still going, So basically, it's non-essential employees have to stay home while they figure things out. That doesn't mean that the government just stopped business altogether. The Congress people, they were still working, Things are still operational. So don't let them fool you and say that everything shuts down and nothing gets paid, and Social Security checks. Social Security checks still have to go out. They don't have to cancel Social Security checks just because they didn't raise the debt ceiling, right? Those are debts. Those are things that are owed to people. They can still be paid. You know, so yeah, don't let them lie to you that it has to be done. But what will happen? They will raise it. And you know, I'm not a big McCarthy fan. Kevin McCarthy, he's actually just south of me. I don't vote for him because you know I'm not in his district, but he's from a district near me, relatively close, and not a big fan of his, but hopefully he really does mean it when he says that he's like, no, you know, we need to sit down, we need to figure out the spending issues because this just keeps happening and it's just going to keep happening. But really, it's probably just lip service, unfortunately. That's what's going to happen. But what should happen is they should say, hey, you know, this debt ceiling, we'll raise it, but with some guarantees. Some guarantees that we can rework the budget as a zero-based budget. You know, we can rework the budget based on revenue we know we actually have coming in, so we don't have to keep increasing the debt ceiling. Is that going to happen? Probably not, unfortunately. But that's what should happen, and that could happen in the current system. They could say, hey, you know, we're not going to, nope, we're going to hold our arms like this. We're going to shut down the government. Non-essential employees have to go home. You know what also happens when that happens? No new debt. So technically speaking, the debt goes down. So hey, that's a good thing, right? That's that, you know, side effect. All right. So basically, if they didn't increase the debt ceiling, it would cause the debt to go down because the old debt would be getting paid, new debt would not be being created, and so the debt would go down. So that'd be great. But in the meantime, what should happen is they should go in and say, hey, we will pass it this time. We'll pass it. We'll even do a big one, you know, big debt ceiling limit, you know, so we don't have to do this again for another year or two, right? Let's say we'll give you guys, how much do you want? How much do you want the debt ceiling limit? But this is the requirement for the budgeting process. The new budget will not exceed revenue from the previous year. So if they can put that into the law, if they can write the law and say the budget needs to be rewritten so that budget never exceeds the revenue of the previous year, it would fix it. It would fix it right there. But they don't have the I don't know. They don't have the gumption to do it. They don't have the cones to tell people that this is what they're going to force them to do. So they won't hold the line. Hold the door. Hold the door. Hold door. Anyways. All right. I'm going to actually cut this one short before 10 minutes. It probably should have even been shorter because I seem to be repeating myself quite a bit. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Any of the past videos, if you have questions, let me know. Put comments in. Questions. I'd love to hear it. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a good day.